Hey there, you two. Chilling a little bit today. Got a couple packages in. Went ahead and opened them up because it was not technically pipe or tobacco paraphernalia, but it's pipe related, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Today I'm smoking. It's coloring up kind of nicely. The Sparky Special. Let's see if we can't get a view of that there. There you go. Sparky Special. Collaboration, as most of you guys know, between Sparky's Pipes and Chris Morgan. I'm smoking some of the well-known and illustrious Sparkys. Good stuff. Actually really like it. This is probably about my fourth time smoking. I just actually picked up about 2 ounces, I think about 2 weeks ago. Just kind of been slowly going through it. Kind of like to pack the pipe where I take the core of Cavendish and I set it to the side, just a little circular bit to the side, and then I kind of rub everything else out, and I'll layer it with the Cavendish going flat in between the layers. I come up with this really neat profile as I begin to smoke it, where it's sweet. You get the spicy from the Perique and the Virginia, and then you get this Cavendish. You add a little extra sweetness, and it kind of adds a layer of kind of creaminess to it as well in there, which is kind of cool, and I really enjoy doing that. Lights up really well. I picked it up from my tobacconist. I think about $6 for 2 ounces. Not too bad, but you know what? Brick and mortar, sometimes you got to support them, so I like picking up some of that stuff and giving them a little money, plus a couple cigars when I go. All right. Lit well. Let's talk about what I got in the mail. So, most of you may not know, I'm a big reader. I like to read a whole lot. And recently, I kind of got this kick of I wanted to do some reading on pipe, knowledge, pipe, folklore, pipe, everything, right? So, here's what I did. Got a favorite site I go to, pick up old editions of, first editions or first presses or things like that, signed copies. I love to go to this site. If you haven't checked it out yet, ABE, that's Alpha Bravo Echo, abebooks.com. I think you guys might like it if you like to read. So anyway, picked up this book. All right, previous owner, right? It's okay. It doesn't bother me. Sticker on the front. It's real easy to pull off. You just kind of apply low heat from a non-fire source to it, and the sticker will come right off. Now, there was a sticker on the binding back here. This book is so old, man. I mean, the coloring is so old that you would expect that some of that will come off. So I'm going to be careful. When I pull the sticker off, I may keep it just kind of as nostalgia, but I'm not sure yet. So, the title here is what sold me on reading it. The Pipe. A serious yet diverting treatise on the history of the pipe and all its appurtenances. as well as a factual withal philosophical discussion of the pleasure, or really the pleasurable art, of selecting pipes, smoking, and caring for them. It's by Georges Herment. Could be Jorge, could be Georges. I don't know how to pronounce it. But there's really kind of something neat that reminds me of Northwest Pipe Smoker, as well as his name's forgetting me, but several of these guys who like some of these older pipes. There's a foreword here by Wally Frank. So let's open it up. So you can see the yellowing. Oh man, I love this. I love books that are like this, and so I end up enjoying them and keeping them in my collection. I have a few really old books, several at least 110 years old, that I've read maybe once or twice, but I keep them in my collection. Yeah, they were pre-owned. The bindings may be dying, but it's kind of cool. It's neat to have these things in your collection that nobody else has, or somebody at some point had, and now you're the next owner. Kind of like pipes, books will transition as long as people don't throw them away, and they'll transition to other owners. So, let's take a look. The paper is in really good condition, lots of yellowing. I'd like to think that somebody probably did pipe smoke around this, but you can't really tell it. It's that type of paper from the turn of the century that yellows really quickly. So based on what I'm seeing here, this book's about 60 years old, 1957. Pretty cool. It says dedicated to all true pipe smokers. There's a couple copyrights of this book, 1954, 1955. This is the 1957 version. It's probably, let's see here. All right, yeah, definitely published by Simon & Schuster. So it's been a good 60 years. Let's see what the introduction says. At the risk of disappointing the reader on the very threshold of this book, we feel it our duty to warn him that it has been written in the manner of a poem, by a flash happy inspiration, or a flash of happy inspiration. As may well be the case with a poem, 20 years of meditation and brooding have scarcely been sufficient. Incubation to produce, or sufficient incubation to produce these few pages. In the light of these observations, it will be easier to grasp what follows. Treated in a purely technical style, a subject such as ours could not have failed to rebuff the simpler or the simple amateur. On the other hand, the veteran or professional smoker would have considered it too superficial to satisfy his requirements, not full enough to fulfill his desires. Introductions by the author. Thanks to a complete and exhaustive knowledge of the subject after years of experience and research, we have been able to conceive this work in its fullest scope and present it to the reader just as the spirit came to us. Currente calamo. Such has been our aim. Have we attained it? The reader, be he veteran or amateur, must judge. So, I'm sure several hands have touched this before, but Part 1 talks about broaching the subject, definitions, diagrams, explanations, points to be observed, materials, the clay and porcelain and meerschaum pipes, wood pipes, other materials, and the briar root. Part 2, choice of briar, anti-nicotine contraptions, choice of tobacco, the tobacco jar, the snuff box, the pouch, the pipe rack. I believe there's part 3. Part 3, filling the pipe, lighting the pipe, combustion, generalities, emptying a pipe, cleaning, seasoning, other matters, scraping out the bowl. And finally, 2 follow-up parts. Part 4, the pipe and health. And part 5, some last questions and a conclusion. For today, I'm going to skip ahead. To part 4, a really interesting topic, one that all of us know is either on the hearts and minds of our better halves or the world. People always giving trouble on this one. The pipe and health. Here's a quick reading. Medical opinion is fairly evenly divided on the question of the effects of tobacco on the human system. Some denounce only nicotinism as a sort of intoxication brought about by the abuse of tobacco. Others condemn tobacco outright, and among them many great names such as Buffon, Goethe, Heine, Tolstoy, Stendhal. All these are associated, as well as others that have not been dead long enough to become great. But not everything is good for everyone, as the preacher tells us, and everyone does not profit by everything. To us, it appears that only excess is to be condemned as in other things, and excess in drinking. Vichy, water, is as much to be reprehended as excess in drinking alcohol. Really neat. I'm looking forward to doing some more reading of it. And I'm also thinking about maybe getting a couple copies and running a giveaway. And I think a few other things might go along with that. But books like this really interest me. And like I said, it's the title that got me. A serious yet diverting treatise on the history of the pipe and all its appurtenances, as well as a factual, withal philosophical discussion of the pleasurable art of selecting pipes, smoking, and caring for them. I don't know about you, but that sounds like some good reads. So, this tobacco, really good. First time smoking it in a briar. I have been smoking it in my Devil's Acorn corn cob and my Missouri Meerschaum Morgan. First time in a briar. Now, I have to say, it's a little more docile in a briar. And it's probably because I've smoked other stuff in this briar. But the corn cob, I think it adds some nuances to it. It maybe make the Perique docile. Now, I still taste it, but for the Perique, which I generally get spiciness in there, I'm not getting as much here. Now, it is just lit, and I'm not trying to power through it, so I'm going to enjoy this pipe. But I like it. It's good. It should be a staple, I think, in many pipe collectors or pipe smokers cellar. It's one of those that adds a little more depth than, say, the Four Corners roll cut. Actually, it's called Four Corners Circles. There's a little more strength to it, I believe, for me, than Escudo. And of course, from a Dunhill Navy Deluxe standpoint, I mean, it doesn't have as much topping, I would say. Very nice and easy on the retrohale. The one thing I'd say about this is it's very earthy. I like that. So, hopefully every one of you are doing well out there in YouTube and the YouTube pipe community. Watching everybody's updates and videos. We're going into the weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm very tempted this weekend to do a pipe purchase. So we'll see. Maybe a Yabo coming up soon. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.